All right, folks, 2 years ago, we traveled around this state. My next guest was running for the House of Delegates, lost by 53 votes. Is that what it was? And so now she is running again. Put your hands together for Kimberly Pope Adams. All right, so what are you going to do for this time than last time?
Get 54 more votes.
So how are you going to do that? I mean, after last time, what assessment did you do looking at your campaign, and what assessment did you do to look at why you lost? What did you do?
Yes. Well, first I want to thank you for having me. Thank you for being here 2 years ago. And I will say this, I don't say that I lost, I say that I fell short because I learned so much. And in the days after the election in 23, it was actually my son. I have a 17-year-old son. He was 15 at the time. He said, "You know what, Mommy?" He said, "Championships are won in the off season." He said, "If you want to do this again, you got to start now." Now, admittedly, I didn't want to hear that at the time, but he was right. He was right. So what I decided to do, I took a little time off for the holidays, but once we got first of the year, I kept staying involved. I kept meeting the voters. I volunteered on congressional campaigns. I moderated town halls. I showed up to community events. I kept making sure that my community knew the importance of voting. I've been doing that for 2 solid years when I wasn't on the ballot, and I know that it's going to pay off this time.
Did you also study the data in terms of looking at those precincts, how many people are registered, how many eligible voters there are, how many actually turned out, and concentrate on those areas? And so what are the 3 or 4 areas that you are targeting for a big turnout?
Yeah, so my district is 4 localities. One is the city of Petersburg, very urban, very dense, very blue. The other 3 localities are all rural, red leaning. When you look at the voter turnout among the 4 different localities, the lowest voter turnout was in the city of Petersburg. My race was low.
How low? When you say how, like what's the percentage?
32%.
32%.
Yeah.
That was the turnout.
Yeah.
And so I'm always talking about, I keep using 70 as a number. So if 50% turned out, if 40% turned out, you win.
Yeah, we actually did the math afterwards. If 38% had turned out.
But it's the point I'm making. I don't want 40. I don't want 45. Right. What I keep saying is, if we turn out at 70% of our capacity, we sweep elections.
Absolutely, because here's one thing we all know. When black people show up, we win. When we vote, we win. We just got to show up. It's that simple. We've got to show up.
So what have you been doing and saying in the last 2 years, to specifically Petersburg, to say, look, the only way this happens if you actually vote?
Yes. So what I've been doing is making sure people understand the contrast between myself and my opponent. Listen, my opponent is looking out for herself, not looking out for us, not looking out for our community. So every chance I get, as I'm knocking doors and meeting voters, I'm telling them firsthand, what did she vote on? How did she vote? I'm giving specific, concrete examples to the voters. I'm not just talking about things in the abstract. I'm giving them real-life examples of times when she could have fought for us and chose not to.
Like what?
Oh, there was... So the city of Petersburg has a casino coming. We have a casino coming, and my opponent supported legislation that would have forced the city of Petersburg to share the revenue among 5 localities. 5 localities that never fought for a casino, never showed any interest in a casino.
Wait a minute, so be 5 other cities?
Yes.
So the casino will be in Petersburg?
Yes.
And so she wanted the money to be shared with them?
Yes.
Why?
You'd have to ask her.
Okay, go ahead.
So when we found that out, we mobilized. I mean, we wrote letters. We've reached out to the General Assembly. We made sure that the people who were supporting that bill knew how we felt about it, and it died. It died. It did not pass. So because of our voices, when we stood together, we made sure they understood what was important to us. And those are the examples that I make sure to remind people. If we aren't looking, they'll try it again. And the only way to ensure that she and others like her can't try it again is by voting them out. Because our vote can do 2 things. It can hire and it can fire.
So running against someone is one thing, running for is another. What are your priorities if elected?
Yes, so as I said, I'm a mother. My son's a senior in high school, public high school. Public school education is very important to me. I believe we can invest more than we currently do. I know that college isn't for everyone, so I'm very much a supporter of the trades, vocational technology, well, when I was in school, we called it VOTEC. Making sure we have plumbers, welders, electricians, good paying jobs that don't require a college degree.
Also jobs that can't be outsourced across the ocean.
Absolutely, absolutely. When you teach someone a skill, when you teach someone a trade, how to work with their hands, that's theirs forever. So I want to make sure that we equip our public school students with the ability to take care of themselves, not to need mounting student debt to have a livelihood.
What else?
Oh, well, in Virginia there are 3 constitutional amendments that are coming back around. The General Assembly's voted on them once, and they passed. However, in Virginia, you have to vote on them a second time before it even makes it to the voter.
And those 3 are?
Marriage equality, reproductive freedom, and automatic restoration of rights. Right now, Virginia is the only state in the United States where you do not get your rights restored upon paying your debt to society. You have to ask the governor specifically and hope that the governor grants you back your rights.
But also, folks who don't know, that is a law that dates back to the early 1900s and was a racist law. It had absolute racist intent. The lawmaker that advanced it literally said, "We're doing this to keep the niggas from voting."
This is a Jim Crow era legislation that we have an opportunity to right as long as we come out and vote.
And so, if it passes for the second time, then it gets put on the ballot in November.
Yes, yes. So for those Republicans who voted against it the first time, they weren't even voting against the amendment. They were voting against our right as voters to even decide on the matter. So we've got to make sure that we not only keep our Democrat majority, but expand it so that we can vote, we can pass these amendments for the second time so that everyone in this room has the opportunity for themselves to vote on it next November.
Don't know if your opponent has spoken on this, but when the Biden-Harris administration, they sent a letter to a variety of states that showed that a number of HBCUs were cheated out of upwards of $13 billion in land grant money. And Virginia State is owed $277.5 million. Now, this has nothing to do with any new funding, any new request for funding. This is literally what this school was cheated out of for that certain period of time. If elected, are you going to sponsor legislation for that $277.5 million to be funded to Virginia State separate from any other funding request?
Oh, absolutely. And let me tell you, in Virginia, we only have 2 land grant universities, Virginia State University and Virginia Tech. And I will tell you, I am an alum of Virginia Tech.
And they got their money.
Yep.
And in fact, that money that was supposed to come to Virginia State actually went to Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I've seen firsthand the stark difference between the funding at Virginia Tech and here. And I work here. Full disclosure, I work here, and I know that there is no better HBCU in the United States of America than Virginia State University. So I will do everything in my power to make sure we're made whole.
Last question for you. Somebody out there, they're like, okay, I get all of that, I hear all of that, but they still are not focused, they still are not interested in voting. What do you say to that person? That person who says, I don't really think this stuff makes any difference to me. It has no impact on my life.
Everything we do is a choice. When we wake up every morning, we have to decide, do I want to think about just myself or do I want to think about my community? Your vote is an opportunity to do both. You are doing something for yourself, and you are also doing something for everyone else around you. I can't stress enough how your vote is not just one. When we collectively decide what we're going to do, then anything is possible. And I need people to understand that this is not just about today. This is about next week, next year, next decade. Because if we don't elect the right people, the policies they put in place today are going to impact us for a generation. So we have to think about, what do you want today? What do you want tomorrow? What do you want 10 years from now?
All right, folks, it's the 82nd House District. Put your hands together for Kimberly Pope Adams. I appreciate it.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.